week 12 of the fantasy basketball season, and here's a few forwards I look to buy and trade for this week. The first guy, Brandon Ingram of the New Orleans Pelicans. So Brandon Ingram, he's been a solid scorer for many seasons, even going back to his Los Angeles Lakers days, and then in that blockbuster deal for Anthony Davis many seasons ago. So on the season here for Brandon Ingram, 22.3 points a game, 4.6 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 1.4 threes, and 50% from the field. So his scoring's dropped off a little bit, 2.5 points from last season and this season. And obviously that has to do with Zion Williamson playing a lot of games this season, where last season he pretty much only played a month of the season. And the last few weeks for Ingram, dropping off a little bit more is the scoring, 19.1 points a game, 4 rebounds, 6.3 assists, 1.4 steals, 1.4 blocks, 1.6 threes, and 50% from the field. So his field goal percentage is definitely solid at 50% here is Brandon Ingram. And his assists are definitely going up this season compared to last. But right now the scoring punch really hasn't been there for Brandon Ingram. And like I said, Zion Williamson being back this season and playing most of the ball games has definitely played a factor. But Zion, you're always waiting for that other shoe to drop. Either he'll go down with injury or get traded possibly as well at the NBA trade deadline. Is Zion. Last few games for Ingram, January 3rd at the Timberwolves, 19 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, a 3, 63% from the field. January 5th versus the Clippers, 12 points, a rebound, 4 assists, 33% from the field. And January 7th at the Kings, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, a steal, a block, a 3, 50% from the field. So Ingram definitely still a solid fantasy basketball player. But like I said, his scoring the last 3 games has gone down for him. I know he's passing the basketball more of a point forward at times as well. But right now, Brandon Ingram, he has that major upside where he could put 30 up in his sleep. So right now, while his scoring's down, is Ingram. I think he's a buy low candidate this week. The next player is Shaedon Sharpe of the Portland Trailblazers. So last season, Sharpe, he was very solid for this Trailblazer team, especially at the back end of the year where he had a lot of big performances and put up big games. So on the season, 16.5 points a game, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 threes, 41% from the field. But the last couple of weeks, the scoring's dropped off, and even the rebounding and assists have gone down as well for Shaedon Sharpe. 14.5 points a game, 2.8 rebounds and assists, 1.3 threes, and 40% from the field. So Sharpe, like I said, he's been in the tailspin a little bit the last few weeks here. I know he's had some decent games, but for the most part, scoring's been the only thing of his strength. January 5th at Dallas, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, a block, a 3, 33% from the field. January 7th at Brooklyn, 21 points, a rebound, an assist, 2 steals, a block, 3 threes, 50% from the field. And January 9th in a total blowout loss at the New York Knicks, 9 points, 4 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals, a block, 50% from the field. So I think Shaedon Sharpe has major upside. I believe he could be a future all-star in the next few seasons here. But he's a player definitely under the radar, in my opinion, as well. Like I mentioned, the end of last season, he definitely paid big dividends for fantasy owners who picked him up towards the end of the year. So right now, Shaedon Sharpe, he's been up and down a little bit over the last couple of weeks and still a little bit of an unknown playing out there in Portland. And I think he can help fantasy owners, especially this Trailblazer team once again going nowhere this season. I think his minutes are going to bump up even more because he's been playing the last 3 out of 4 games, only 25 minutes. And final forward I look to buy and trade for this week, Jaime Jaquez of the Miami Heat. So Jaquez, he's been under the radar this season as a rookie for this Heat team. And I know Jimmy Butler, he's missed a ton of games over the last couple weeks here, but Jaquez, like I said, under the radar, still out there as well in 34% of fantasy leagues. And he's a guy I think you get on the cheap here on the season, 13.7 points a game, 3.8 rebounds, 2.7 assists, 1.1 steals, 1.1 threes, and 50% from the field. So this Miami Heat team, they always find unknown guys either in the NBA draft or even on the scrap heap over the last couple seasons here. And that's got to do with Eric Spoelstra and what he could do as a head coach as well, just getting an 8-year extension for over $120 million. So obviously this Heat team believes in him and the way he could develop players and make no names into guys that could contribute and help a team in a playoff push and even a championship run like we've seen over the last couple years. Last few games for Vlad was January 3rd at the Lakers, 16 points, 2 threes, 8 assists, a steal, a block, 50% from the field. January 5th at the Suns, 10 points, 3 boards, an assist, 2 steals, 71% from the field. And January 8th versus the Rockets, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal with 45% from the field. So Jaquez, like I said, people, they might be sleeping on him. Like I said, still out there in 34% of fantasy leagues. He's definitely a 3 or 4 category type of player for fantasy owners, and he's getting major minutes, especially with Jimmy Butler out over the last couple weeks, playing anywhere from 35 to 40 minutes a game. So right now, even if Butler returns, I think he's still going to see good usage, 25, 30 minutes a game. He is Vasquez, and another guy in this Miami Heat system that they developed, and he could contribute to them right away. And I think he could contribute to fantasy owners no matter his role, as long as he's getting decent playing time the remainder of the season. So that's a few forwards I look to buy and trade for Week 12 of the fantasy basketball season.